Hello, hello, and welcome to the Alicia Branham podcast. I am Alicia Branham, author, coach, speaker, and founder of Brand Marketing, and I'm so glad that you're here today. Hey, I have a question for you. Have you ever found yourself in a space in your life where you kind of planned a situation, something inside your business, something inside your personal life? You might have planned for it for years or months or even weeks, even a small amount or a long amount of time, and things kind of aren't going right for you. Maybe things aren't going the way you want them to, and you're realizing that it might not be a great idea to continue down this path, and maybe you need to pivot what you're doing. The power of the pivot is something really instrumental that you can drum up in your life to use. I found myself in plenty of situations in my life where, whether it be inside of my business or in my personal life, where I was going down a specific path, but I've realized that holding on to that dream, holding on to that plan that I may have had was maybe not the best thing for me, not the best thing for growth, not the best thing at all. And you have to be open-minded in life to make changes and to not be afraid of pivoting. People that are successful can sit back and analyze something that they're working on. And even if they've spent decades working on something, if they realize it's not working for them, they're going to pivot. This year in particular, I was realizing that I wanted to grow and scale my business, and I had an issue with the fact that I wasn't able to save as much money in my operating account as I'd like to have, and I was realizing that I was not having the right type of clients inside of my business, and I was allowing these drop-in clients to come into my business, and although that seemed great and nice, making a couple $100s off of someone every couple times a year is kind of not great for my business. And because I come from the space of wanting to help everyone, I had to realize that me wanting to help everyone was not going to help my business grow, was not going to help get me that $150,000 that I want to have in the bank right now to be able to take care of my employees, because I have people that rely on me. And so I had to pivot about how I thought about business and how I thought about some of my existing customers and my drop-in customers. And I needed to be okay with the fact that I needed to change my business and that I needed to do things that were going to be better for us, and then not be afraid to lose those drop-in customers because of the changes I needed to make in my business. That was a hard pivot for me, not being everybody's friend and saying, oh, you can leave, but you can still come back and get help from me when you need it now and then. It just wasn't working for me. That's a pivot I had to make in my life. Even honestly, I'll tell you a really crazy pivot as a female. I was raised Roman Catholic church where the man works and the woman stays home to take care of your children and do all these things. And I was raised in this New England, Northeast kind of thing. And that's kind of what I thought my life was supposed to be. That's not my life at all. It's kind of not even anyone's life at all, because you need a partnership in a marriage, and it's not even who and what now. I think it's a team, and I've had to learn that and make a pivot in my personal life about, okay, that was not the way I was raised. It's not how I was taught, but that doesn't work for me. And I pivoted from that. And because of that, my marriage is awesome. I have an incredible husband who supports everything that I do inside of my business. He is my biggest cheerleader next to these guys here taping this episode at Content Kitchen, because these guys rock here in Bountiful, Utah. If you're local, you need to check these guys out. But anyway, I'm just telling you, the power of pivot in your life is so important, right? Even taping these episodes, I used to do this in my house, and I realized I needed professionals to help me with my business. And so, boom, here I am, professional studio, looking like what you want from me, right? Which is looking polished, professional, and peaceful, because it's way more peaceful to tape this here. But I pivoted, and I pivot all the time. And if you realize that you can pivot in your life from that job you're not happy with, that relationship you're miserable with, that toxic family that you feel like you're stuck in, no, it's okay to pivot, because when you pivot, you can change everything in your life. You have the power to change everything in your life simply by pivoting your thoughts, by pivoting your words, by pivoting the situations you find yourself in. Because you matter, and you can make these choices to make changes and pivot in your life to build something more meaningful for you that brings you joy in your life, right? So I'm going to challenge you with something today. What do you need to change in your life? What habit? What habit do you have that you don't need? What toxic relationship are you holding on to? Are you someone that's afraid to be alone and you're going to settle to be in a relationship with someone who's not good for you? No, my friend, male, female, everyone, you don't need that. Pivot. change, bet on yourself, because I promise you the end result on the other side of that pivot is peace, prosperity, and a whole lot of not all that other crap you've been putting up with, right? So that's my message to you. I believe in you, and I want you to do this because you can, all right? Because you can. I'm Alicia Branham. Thank you for listening to my message today.